Hello, and thank you for watching. If you like daily skit comedy videos, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell to see every new episode as soon as it comes out. Also, check out the links in the description to find everywhere else you can find me. Without further ado, the Forever TM.
Well, the first step in order to get the great sword of unparalleled good is I need to blow up a city that once housed a god. Isn't every city you've been to technically a city that's housed a god? I mean, you could rule it that way. You are the dungeon master after all, but I feel like the intent of the text was more like literally housed. Wow, you're advocating for my side for once. I have always advocated for your side. What about the time you called me out for naming a town Fart Liquor? Tough love, baby, look it up. Whatever. How do you plan to blow up this town? I mean, Tony and I are both gods. It shouldn't be that hard. Just because you're gods does not mean you have the firepower to raise a city. But we both do have great swords of parallel evil. And how exactly is this going to help you? Simple. Quantum entanglement. You and I both know that's not simple. You see, the great swords of parallel evil have to be exactly the same at all times. One of the swords already has the fire god inside of it. Exactly, meaning both swords technically have the fire god inside of it. What? Even though we put the fire god inside of Tony's sword, my sword also gains its effects. How does that work? Quantum entanglement. You can't just say that and expect it to make sense. All chemical effects are also transferred between blades. So if one were to rust, the other would also rust. How do you plan to use this quantum entanglement to blow up a city now? I'd hate to say this, but I'm gonna need another peasant cannon. Come on, one peasant cannon can do a lot of damage, but it can't raise a town. That is what you think. To get one going that fast, you would need a peasant cannon that wraps around the entire planet. I just need one that can get the sword up to escape velocity. I'm still unsure of how this plan is going to work. Quantum entanglement. Stop just saying quantum entanglement and explain your plan, please. How hot is the inside of a sun? Very hot. If I were to place an object that had the temperature of the inside of the sun on Earth, what would happen? It would probably release enough energy to blow up a town. I'm gonna use a peasant cannon to send that great sword of unparalleled evil up into space, directly into the center of the sun, and I'm gonna leave my great sword here, and it will release a giant explosion. How is this the second nuke you've made in this game? Once again, I'm very smart. I don't think this is how quantum entanglement works. Well, it's how the sword works, and it's what I've got written down. How exactly do you plan on retrieving the other great sword once it's, I don't know, hurled into the sun, Tony? And how is Tony going to get into space? Tony has the constitution score of an absolute unit. That he does. I'm going to place him inside of a bag of holding. He's going to hold his breath, and then we're going to peasant cannon and fire him right after the sword. Of course, what else would you do? Once the bag of holding gets near the sun, the bag of holding is going to catch on fire, and Tony is going to come bursting out of it. How is Tony going to survive the sun? Even though Tony doesn't have the fire god's powers, he still is a demon from Hell Realm. Yeah, I guess. Back when I killed the fire god, Tony took a full-on disintegrate ray made of fire, and he didn't even feel anything. That is true. If we even consider that beam as a concentrated ray of sunlight, Tony should be able to survive that. I hate when you make sense. So Tony's gonna fly into the center of the sun, grab the greatsword, and come out the other side. How is Tony gonna get back to Earth? A plan that if I reveal now, you won't watch the next episode. What are you talking about? Fire the peasant cannon! How'd you already set this up? I employed all the inhabitants of Fart Liquor after they were left destitute and homeless. God damn it! Fire! The sun is flung into space. All right, Tony, get in the bag. But sir, Tony, if you don't get in the bag, we won't be able to have our beach episode. And why not? Because then when we do it, we'll be evil. What? I want us to have a good beach episode. I know. I promise you'll be okay. But how will I get back to Earth? Tony, have I led you astray yet? No. Can't exactly say how this is gonna work, but you got to trust me. Okay, now get in the bag, Tony. For Fireball. For Fireball! And for our God! Damn! Beach episode! Beach episode!